Last video, people, we look at addition and subtraction and fractions, but we want to look at multiplication right now. So I just erase some of what I have here. So erase this. Alright. You know, so with the fraction business, you know, as with anything else, you have to make sure you understand it, right? Alright. This we have to erase here now. So we do addition and subtraction and fraction. And by the way, subtraction is a form of addition that, you know, it's just that you add negative number. And you see when you divide, it's a multiplication that, you know, it's just that you are multiplied by a fraction. But anyway, multiplication. Alright. Now we're going to multiply a fraction. Suppose you have two fractions. Say, I will call them A over B multiplied by C over D. What you actually do, I multiply the two numerator them top by top over the denominator them bottom by bottom. So you see that? So it's like, say, you have 3/4 multiplied by 5/8. So you say 3/5 15 over 4/8 32, or 15/32, that, you know. Now, if we look at another example, suppose you have half multiplied by 3/4. This would have been 1/3 over 2/4. So that will be 3 over 2/4, 8, 3/8. Now, suppose you have a circle now. And you say half multiplied by 3/4. What that really mean? Alright. If you have quarters now, now 3/4. I mean this, and this. Three of them. Now, if you say half of that, half of 3/4. If you take 3/4 and half it, 3/4 how much? 8. 4, 6. Alright, you have 8 here, so 3/4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8. 6, 8, you know. 3/4, 6, 8. Half of 6 hour. 3, 8. Because you have 6, 8. Half of 6 are 3, so you have 1, 2, 3, 8. So you get the 3 8s. You see? Now, you see the half? Half are really 4 8 times 3/4 are really 6 8. If you do this and say 4 6 24 over 8 8 64, then what you have, when you cancel on this, you get back the 3 8. Now, what we do a while ago is to make common denominators. That's useful when you add and subtract. But when you multiply, you don't necessarily have to use common denominators, because you're going to come up with big number and you have to cancel out. what you need to see now is that the answer coming at 8. Now, if you look on it and say half and 3/4, right? When you multiply 2 by 4, you get 8. Now, the 4/8 not really necessary. What you want is half. But what really important are the 6/8. 6/8, half of 6. You have 6 or something. Half of them are 3. So you have 6/8, half of the 6 are 3. So you have 3/8. You see? That is just the principle behind it. You must understand the principle. Even though the shortcut, where you say top by top over bottom by bottom, it will always work. But it's good when you understand the principle behind it. So basically, when you multiply fraction, numerator by numerator over denominator by denominator, always get the right answer. Now, what we're going to do, a division of fractions. So make we divide two fractions. We're going to do division of fractions. So we're going to see how this goes. Now, a while ago, we say a half multiplied by 3/4. Same as 3/4 times a half. But suppose you say now 3/4 divided by half. What that means? You probably know the method where you say a 3/4 multiplied by 2 over 1. And that gives you 3 2 6 over 4 1 4. 6 over 4. Same as 3 over 2. You see that? 3/4 divided by half. Now, if we look on it, you have 3/4, this and this. And you're going to divide by half. When you divide by half, what you really are saying is that you have something and you divide by half. What was it before you divide by half? It did double. I did twice. So, if you have a number and you divide by half and you get 10. If you divide by half, it means what you have now, the 10, a half of what you did have before. So dividing by half means you multiply by 2. Alright. Remember, multiply by 2 it means you double, you know. You multiply this by 2, 10 by 2, and you get 20. Right? But if you divide 10 by half, what you really have to say is, you have something and you get 10. What was it before? It must be 20. Alright, so come back to this now. You have something and you get 3 of them. What was it before? If you have 3/4, you divide by half. It means you're going to double the number what you have. So, what you have here so now? You have 1/4, 2/4, because if you have 3/4, divide by half means 6/4. So you have 1, 2, 3, 4. You need 2 more quarter. 5, 6/4. Now if you have 6/4, same thing as this, This is what you have. 3/4 divide by half means 3/4 times 2, that are 6/4. So you see that? Alright. But basically, the shortcut method is, if you have A over B multiplied by C over D, not multiplied by, divided by, should I say. A over B divided by C over D are the same thing as A over B multiplied by the reciprocal of the C over D. That will be D over C. You see? D divided by C. So you see that? Alright. We look on one more example. Whole number. Suppose you have 2 divided by half. You divide by a fraction. Right? It means say you did have a number. This number you look on a half of the original number. So the 2 you have is half of the original number. What the original number did be? It must be 4. So 2 divided by half are the same as 2 multiplied by 2 over 1. You get the answer. Now, you have a fraction now. Half divided by a number. Half divided by 2. What that be? Well, that be the same as half multiplied by, now remember, half divided by 2 means 2 over 1, you know. So half multiplied by 1 over 2. Half by half, that's a quarter. That is what you're going to get. Now, you see if you can explain it. With the diagram, you have the whole thing on a half. You have half yourself. Right? It's a half. And you divide it by 2. That means you cut it in 2 equal parts. When you take, remember now, the half you are talking about. And this up yourself. This is a half. You divide it by 2, means you cut it in 2 equal parts. What you get? And this, quarter. So half divided by 2 is a quarter. So you see it work when you multiply by the reciprocal of the denominator. It always works, whether it's a number divided by a fraction divided by a number, or whatever it is. Now, here, you have, say, A over B. Let me repeat it. I'm not have to repeat it. I did have it over up your side already. A over B times D over C. Or A over B divided by C over D. The same as A over B times D over C. You find the reciprocal at the denominator. Now, because it's the denominator, because it could have write like this, you know, A over B over C over D. Could I write it like that? So this are really the denominator fraction. So the one to the left at the top number, the numerator. The one to the right at the denominator. And just so you write it traditionally, right? With division. Just like how if you say 3 over 5 are the same as 3 divided by 5. Alright? The left one at the top number, the right one at the bottom number. Alright, so when you have fraction divided by a fraction, the numerator multiplied by the reciprocal of the denominator. Number divided by a fraction are the same as the number times the reciprocal of the fraction denominator. And remember, if you have a fraction divided by a number, you can always write a number over 1, so it looks like a fraction. So it's a fraction, so you say the fraction you have multiplied by the reciprocal of 2 over 1 or 1 over 2, the reciprocal of the denominator. Alright? So make sure you understand it. The multiplication and division of fractions.